Ever felt like your boss holds all the cards? Like you've got no power at all? Well, in Taiwan, that's not quite how it works. Today, we're going to break down the official playbook that gives you the power to fight back when you're treated unfairly at work. Let's dive in. So let's talk about someone we'll call Alex. A great employee, does their job well, but was just fired for trying to organize a union. And you can imagine it feels totally hopeless, right? Like you're completely on your own. But, and this is a huge but, Alex is not alone. See, in Taiwan, there's a whole system designed for exactly this kind of situation. This isn't just some suggestion box or hoping for the best. It's a clear, structured process with actual legal teeth. And today, we're going to walk you through exactly how it works. Okay, so here's our game plan for today. We'll start with your emergency kit of essential info, then we'll look at the different paths you can take, meet the referees who make the calls, and go over the step-by-step process. After that, we'll see what winning actually looks like and wrap it all up with a quick Q&A cheat sheet. First things first, before you can even think about fighting back, you've got to know the basic rules of the game. This is your essential starting point, the absolute must-knows. So what even counts as a labor dispute in the eyes of the law? Well, the definition is really broad on purpose. It could be a rights issue, like your boss is straight up breaking the law or your contract. Or it could be what they call an adjustment issue. Maybe you're trying to negotiate better working conditions. The big takeaway here, this system covers a ton of different problems you might face at work. Okay, now this next part is maybe the most important thing you'll hear today. Seriously, for something like what happened to Alex, an unfair labor practice, a 90-day clock starts ticking the second it happens. Why so short? Well, it's to make sure all the evidence is still fresh and things get handled fast. But if you miss that window, poof, your chance is gone. All right, so you've got a legit dispute and you're inside that 90-day window. What's next? Well, the great news is you've got options. This isn't a one-size-fits-all kind of deal. You get to choose your path. You've basically got three main roads. First up is mediation. Think of this as a guided conversation, where a neutral person helps you and your employer try to find a middle ground. Next, there's arbitration. This is more like having a private judge hear both sides and make a final binding decision. And then there's the heavy hitter, adjudication. This is a special process for the really serious stuff, for when an employer does something that undermines the basic right to organize. So let's circle back to our friend Alex. Getting fired for trying to start a union? That is a classic, textbook example of an unfair labor practice. So for Alex, the choice is clear. Adjudication is the path. It was practically designed for this exact fight. Okay, so you've picked the adjudication path. Who are the people actually hearing your story? Who's making the call? These aren't just some random government employees. Think of them as the official referees of workplace justice. And take a look at who's on this committee. We're not talking about just anyone. You've got seasoned lawyers, judges, law professors, people who live and breathe this stuff, all with at least 5 years of experience. And hey, check this out. The law even requires gender diversity on the panel. The whole point is to make sure your case is heard by real, unbiased experts. And to make sure everything is 100% fair, there are super strict conflict of interest rules. Basically, if a committee member has any connection to your case, maybe they're friends with your boss or used to work for your company, they have to step aside. No exceptions. This ensures the refs are truly neutral. Okay, path chosen, referees introduced. Now for the main event, the actual step-by-step game plan. Let's see how this whole thing unfolds from the day you file to the day you get a decision. One of the best things about the system is that it's designed to be fast. Look at this. Within a week, the committee is formed. In about 3 weeks, you have an investigation report. And usually just a month after that, you get a final decision. Now, sure, there can be extensions, but the goal here is to get you an answer quickly, not let this drag out forever. And that investigation? Oh, it's the real deal. The committee has the legal power to demand pretty much anything they need. Documents, emails, company records. They can call in your coworkers, your managers, anyone, and interview them to get to the bottom of what really happened. And this right here, this shows you just how fair the system is meant to be. This isn't just a review of paperwork behind closed doors. You get your day to speak. You have the right to stand in front of that committee and tell your side of the story directly to the people making the decision. Okay, let's get to the good part. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. You've done everything right, you've made your case, and you win. What does that victory actually look like? What do you get? Now, this is huge. The final decision from this committee isn't just a friendly suggestion. Once it gets a quick review from a court, it has the exact same legal power as a final judgment from a judge. Think about that. It's legally binding, it's official, it's the real deal. And that powerful decision can order your boss to do specific things. For someone like Alex, that could literally mean an order to give them their job back immediately. It can force the company to stop whatever they were doing wrong and pay you any money they owe you. This is justice you can actually feel. All right, to finish up, let's run through a quick Q&A. These are the big questions that people always have when they're thinking about taking this step. This is your final cheat sheet. Okay, first up, and this is the big one, right? The fear that holds so many people back. What happens if I file a case? Can my boss just fire me or mess with my pay for doing it? The answer is absolutely not. It's written right into the law. Your employer is forbidden from retaliating against you in any way just because you filed a dispute. You are legally protected from the second you start the process. Okay, next question. Let's say you win. You've got this awesome legally binding decision in your hands. But what if your boss just ignores it? What then? Yup, the system has a plan for that. Remember how we said the decision has the power of a court order? Well, you can take that order right back to the court and request compulsory enforcement. That's a fancy way of saying the legal system will step in and force your employer to comply. They can't just ignore it. So, after all of this, what's the one thing you absolutely need to remember? It's this: you are not powerless. There is a system here, a real playbook designed to protect you. But it only works if you use it. The most important first step is just knowing your rights and remembering that 90-day clock is ticking. You have the power, and now you have the playbook.